Have you ever wondered what cybercriminals do after they break into a cloud account? How do they silently move around, hopping from one account to another without getting caught? Well, today, we're diving into one of the trickiest and most stealthy threats in cloud security: cloud hopping. Welcome to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. In today's digital-first world, cloud computing is the backbone of business operations. Organizations rely on it for everything, from storing sensitive data to running critical applications to keeping teams connected and productive. Platforms like Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, and AWS have become essential, but as cloud adoption rises, so does a new type of cyber threat, a threat called cloud hopping. Now, you might be thinking, what exactly is cloud hopping? Well, cloud hopping isn't just a cybersecurity buzzword. It's a sophisticated tactic that cybercriminals are using more and more. Understanding it is key for anyone who wants to keep digital assets safe. So here's the idea. At its core, cloud hopping is when cybercriminals move laterally between cloud accounts after they've compromised a single account. Imagine a thief who breaks into one building and then uses that access to sneak into neighboring buildings without anyone noticing. That's essentially what's happening in the cloud. And in cloud terms, these buildings are your accounts, your services, and any connected third-party apps. Cloud hopping isn't just about one-time breaches. It's about persistence, stealth, and expansion. Once attackers gain entry, they look for ways to compromise more accounts, escalate privileges, and steal sensitive data across an entire cloud ecosystem. Typically, it unfolds in several stages. First is the initial compromise. Attackers usually start with one account that has weak security. This could be through phishing emails, leaked passwords, or credential stuffing attacks. Next comes privilege escalation. Once inside, attackers identify accounts or apps with higher privileges, like administrators or shared service accounts. Then they move into lateral movement. Using these elevated privileges, attackers move sideways to other cloud accounts or connected services. For instance, a compromised Microsoft 365 email account could be used to gain access to Dropbox or AWS. Finally, there's persistence and exfiltration. At this stage, the attacker ensures they can maintain access. They might create hidden admin accounts, modify API tokens, or set up other backdoors. From there, they can steal sensitive documents, intellectual property, or even company-wide credentials. There are a few key reasons why this threat is so serious. First, there's cross-platform exposure. Many organizations use multiple cloud services. One compromised account can give attackers access to many others. Then there's stealth. Unlike malware, which can trigger antivirus alerts, cloud hopping can happen invisibly inside trusted cloud environments. Attackers also go after high-value targets. They can reach sensitive corporate data, financial records, and intellectual property. And finally, it's about difficult detection. Traditional endpoint security tools often don't catch lateral movements within the cloud. So let's talk about some real-world examples of cloud hopping. One common scenario is email to cloud storage. Phishing a corporate email account is, honestly, pretty common these days. Once that account is compromised, attackers can access connected cloud storage services like Google Drive or Box, and, well, they can steal sensitive documents without much trouble. Another example is third-party app exploitation. Cybercriminals might compromise one SaaS application and then pivot to others connected through OAuth integrations. They exploit the trust relationships between apps to move around unnoticed, and there's also credential harvesting. Attackers collect API keys or session tokens from a compromised account. This lets them access other cloud accounts without even triggering multi-factor authentication. So, how do we defend against cloud hopping? The answer really lies in a combination of identity protection, visibility, and proactive monitoring. First, enforce strong multi-factor authentication, or MFA. It should be mandatory across all cloud accounts, because stolen credentials alone just won't be enough. Next, you need to monitor for suspicious activity. Look out for unusual logins, mass file downloads, or unexpected API calls. Then, limit privileges. Use the principle of least privilege and only give people access to what they truly need. Regularly audit third-party integrations and review all connected applications to make sure nothing has been left vulnerable. It's also important to adopt zero-trust policies. Treat every access attempt as untrusted, even those coming from inside the network. And don't forget to regularly rotate API keys and tokens. This helps reduce the risk of attackers using stolen credentials for lateral movement. So, here's the takeaway. Cloud hopping is honestly a modern and pretty sophisticated threat that really takes advantage of just how interconnected cloud services are these days. Organizations simply can't rely only on traditional cybersecurity methods anymore. Instead, they need a holistic, identity-focused approach that carefully monitors activity across all of their cloud accounts. By understanding what cloud hopping is, recognizing the tactics attackers use, and, actually implementing strong preventive measures, businesses can greatly reduce the risk of attackers pivoting through their cloud ecosystem. In today's digital landscape, awareness and preparation are, without a doubt, your best defenses against this invisible threat. All right, let's go over some key points to remember. Cloud hopping basically means lateral movement between cloud accounts after an initial compromise. Attackers will exploit things like trust relationships, shared credentials, and API tokens. Multi-factor authentication, least privilege access, and activity monitoring are, honestly, essential defenses here. Prevention really requires a mindset shift. Treat cloud environments as interconnected but also vulnerable landscapes. Cloud environments are, in fact, a treasure trove for cybercriminals. But with understanding, vigilance, and robust security practices, organizations can stay one step ahead of lateral attacks. Now, here's a challenge for you, our audience. Imagine an attacker compromises a single SaaS account at your organization. Which step would they likely take first? Lateral movement, privilege escalation, or persistent setup? Take a moment to think about it and comment your answer below. And here's a little bonus. How would you defend that first account to stop cloud hopping in its tracks? If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And hey, don't forget to check out our cloud security playlist for more videos that will help you stay one step ahead of cybercriminals.